Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with my buddy Brian Nato. Main track is fast. We're on the turf. It's firm. We got the Tapeta. And what a week it's going to be here at Gulfstream Park. Of course, Kentucky Derby week. We got stakes action on Saturday. We got stakes action on Sunday. And, of course, we've got all the simulcasting you need to have a great weekend.
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, one of my favorite weeks of the year, without a doubt. And, a lot of excitement for us, too, in Kentucky with our three horses. Certainly, I think major players in the Kentucky Derby, White Abario, Charge It, and Simplification. And then, of course, the undefeated Kathleen O in the Oaks on Friday, too. And we saw these horses, kind of grow up and progress here throughout the winter. Mo Donegal started his season in our Holy Bowl. So, I mean, I think it's cool. It takes some pride in that,
excuse me, Brian, one of the greatest stepping stones is winning the Florida Derby or running in the Florida Derby and going on to win the Kentucky Derby or one of the Triple Crown races. So it's going to be great. And, boy, as you mentioned, those three horses all have a shot in there. So, I mean, big shots. So it's going to be very interesting. But as I mentioned at the top, we've got a fast main track, firm turf course. We're on the Tapeta, of course, all the time. And we have an 8-race card today. Third race will start the Rainbow Six, $100,000 gross jackpot guaranteed pool. Like I say, race number 3. And, of course, we have 2 pick 5s and a bunch of pick 3s, pick 4s, and all that. And Brian put an early pick 5 ticket to get out.
I did for our 105 post today, and we're early tomorrow and Saturday, and we'll remind you of that and give you the real details later in the lightning round. But here we are for $24. Talk about the opener in a second. Good 2-year-old race in race 2, where I'll spread and go outside to Breezette for Mike Yates. We got a stat on him, and then a little more condensed the rest of the way. 1-4 Ellie Reese Easton. I think I finally got her name right. Splicer. The single comes in race 4. Mamza, my best bet of the day. You're not going to get much value there, so let's try to get it as a single. And then a 3-pack in the finale, 3, 4, 6. When I say the finale, the get-out leg, race number 5, Officer Country is the one on top for Steve Caceres and Edwin Gonzalez.
Yeah, I also have that one on top this afternoon. Race number 1 is going to be 5 furlongs on the turf. The turf is famed, claiming fillies, 3-year-olds and 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in life. We did have an early scratch of the number 2 horse in here, David's Rose, and current 6-5 favorite is the number 3 horse in here, Sacred Sunday, but you and I went a little different way, and here we go with the logical second choice, and that might change. It's very early in the wagering. The last bullet's mine, who was shown she can win at 5 furlongs, albeit that was on the Tapeta. Turns back, shook off trouble at the start. She sort of broke out. When I actually went back and looked at it, it wasn't bad at all. Finished third against Simla, going around 2 turns on the turf. That was going 7.5 furlongs for Joe Orsino, and you're getting Sammy Camacho Jr. handling the shorter distance today.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and if you go back and watch that race, yes, she did have some serious trouble in there. She wasn't going to win. She would have been closer, but she wasn't going to win the race. So don't get too over the top with that. But still, I think she fits nicely here. She's coming out of 2-turn races with plenty of foundation. She draws well to be outside some of the other major contenders. And I think I also agree with you. Maybe by post time, she might shake out as the favorite too.
The number 3, Sacred Sunday, we showed promise sprinting on the Colonial Downs turf course last summer. Goes to the Victor Barboza Jr. barn. Returns to the grass today after coming within a neck of defeating those 2 lifetime claimers. That was going 5 panels on the all-weather Tapeta. This is Paco Lopez. I think that's part of the allure right here with the 3.
Yeah, without a doubt. And we're also going to hit the turf for the first time for Victor, who's off to a huge start at the Royal Palm meeting, hitting at 30%. Paco's aboard here. We've got speed, so I would think Sacred Sunday is the one to catch.
You had number 2, David's Rose, on third, so I bumped up the number 1 horse in here, and that's Yukayo. It's turning back to the 5 after prompting your eventual winner at race and calling it a day. It was against 35 starter optional Cambers, going 7.5 on the turf. It was okay, but then I see Rohan Crichton, who seems to be winning with everything, so I threw this one on the ticket.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, Rohan, you get him in your corner, and you get a rare time to get him at a little bit of a price, too. She hasn't done any running in her last 2 starts, so that's a little worrisome, and now Rohan cuts her back to 1 turn, and you just kind of wondered if maybe they're throwing something at the wall here. But if you can get her back going to her better races, puts her in the mix here, she's going to have a lot of foundation coming out of, what do we got here, 6 2-turn races in a row.
Yeah, so we'll see how that first race shakes out. But I think the logical 2 are the 3 and the 6 in that one. 2-year-olds, my favorite time of the year here at Gulfstream Park when we got these 2-year-olds, 4.5 furlongs. These are maiden special weight. 2-year-old fillies today. And I don't know if they scratched the 9 out of here yet, the also eligible.
I didn't see it, but she's got to come out.
She'll
right?
come out eventually, yeah, if she's not out already. But Pete Aiello will be with us in just a little while, updating you on this. Kicks off our first of 2 pick 4s this afternoon. And, you know, Breezette is the daughter of winner early sire Cajun Breeze, debuting for Mike Yates. Trio of solid 3 furlong workouts showing in preparation for her first start. You know, if you spend time here in South Florida, you see Mike Yates, you see Cajun Breeze, you give it a second look.
Yeah, and I'm just glancing at the double Will Pays now, and, you know, she's going to be very, very well respected. I would keep an eye on that as we get closer to post. And, you know, you've heard Ronnie and I talk about Mike Yates a lot, and with these Cajun Breezes especially, but let's take a look at an actual trainer stat here for Mike, and we can kind of see it in a little more in-depth. 8 for 32, 25, and a huge, huge 333 ROI. First time starting 2-year-olds right here the past couple years. So Breezette certainly appears to be very live in here. I like this post too. I'd rather be outside with these 2-year-olds because they can, you know, sometimes we're slow to start. Sometimes, you know, with getting to the track for the first time, they can struggle a little bit. Well, at least this one is outside the rest. It's far from a huge sample, but he's riding Marco Meneses. They are 2 for 3 together. That bullet last time on April 29th was very, very fast in the mud. Breezette, first full out of a 3 for 25 mare. Again, the money's showing as I take a peek at the double. She's favored in a few of those, so I would think she's in here to run very, very well.
Yeah, and he used Marco last year, and, you know, I'm glad you made it the last couple of years because that's sort of when Cajun Breeze came on the scene,
Yeah,
you know,
point.
and for Shady Brook Farm, Mike Yates, of course, and just took over as far as the precocious 2-year-olds at the meet. The number 3 horses where I went in second, Olga, who's going to wear blinkers today, tracked the pace, defeated half the field when finishing 4th in a career debut at the distance for Juan Alvarado. He's pretty solid, 27% with maidens making their second start. He adds blinkers, and he gets Embassy El Jaramillo in the saddle today.
Well, this is the lone filly with experience,
Right.
and you just can't overvalue that in a spot like this. You know, you got 8 horses. 7 of them have never started as, you know, 2-year-old fillies as well in May. So we're talking early on in the year. Well, we get Olga with some experience. And, yeah, I know she was beaten 11 lengths, but you know what? She passed a couple horses in that debut. So you have to, you know, move her up a little bit for that. The blinkers go on, so you would think she shows more speed. Probably breaks a little bit better today as well. I mean, and Jaramillo gets aboard, taking over from a 7-pound apprentice. So that's a positive, too. You got to give her a real long look in Arundel Homebred.
Well, there's 2 in the field from Mr. Ralph next, the number 5, Frida Foam, and also the number 1, Nick Style. So this one, they're both daughters of Uncaptured, I believe.
They are, and I put the 5 over the 1 only because the post here I think is a lot better. You know, you're down inside on the rail as a first-time starting 2-year-old. That can be pretty tricky, whereas Frida Rome is outside, 5th full out of the dam. A couple of them were okay. Halfton, Kingston Pike, who earned 236. You know, Ralph is solid. Edwin Gonzalez lands here. Ralph's a good enough 12%. He's been on such a tear overall since really we turned the corner on 2022. So, you know, another one I would think that's eligible to be a runner.
Well, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow Six ticket, which will kick off in race number 3 this afternoon.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Round off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian. Third race is going to be about a mile, 70 yards on the Peter, claiming fillies 3 or 4 and up with non-winners of 2 in life. Did have a scratch in here of the morning line favorite. That was Kentucky Pride. So I put a ticket together, and it's going to be $43.20 with that $100,000 gross jackpot guarantee. And I did go 3 deep in here. I know Splice is the one to beat, especially with Claudio Gonzalez. I hate to get knocked out in the first. We'll talk about that race in a moment. I agree with you with Momza in there. We got a video and a stat we're going to show you. Also from Claudio Gonzalez, I used the Blue Dragon and also the Blue Dragon and just 2 deep in there. Race number 5 did go 3 deep with Officer Country. He's a kitten and Parlor in that race. And then in race number 6, got my long shot today, War of Ages, who closed on some swift fractions today. Thought maybe this horse can run well. I don't know if he's going to get the same pace. Race number 7, 2 deep, Blessed Journey and Royal Squeeze. And my best bet today actually comes in the last, and there's the number 8 horse in here, and that is Ellie Gray, who's stepping up the competition. I like that horse from David Fawkes, who's solid with maidens making their second start. So getting back to race number 3, did you have number 4 Splicer on top?
I've got her in second.
So Splicer, we'll start there. This one moves to the Claudio Gonzalez barn, drops to the $8,000 left there after following. That solid maiden score 2 starts back. Had a little bit of a troubled outing, steadied against those 2 lifetime claimers. That was going to about mile 70 yards on the Peter. Barn is sharp. We talk about this all the time. We showed a stat over the last couple of days, about 19% with new claims, and he's got his go-to rider here in South Florida. That's Hector Berrios in the saddle.
Yeah, we got a stat for Claudio coming up in the next race, but this is another one where he hits good. And, you know, the barn, it was kind of slow into stride when he got down here in South Florida, and, of course, we know him so well from up in Maryland. I believe he's won 5 training titles down there. But I think now he's finally, you know, kind of got his legs, sea legs a little bit, and he's found his spot down here, and the barn's starting to win, and the horses are really starting to run well. Splicer should do that. Now it's tough to improve off Gilberto off the claim, but I like this one in here. I think that she's in a good spot, and hopefully, I think the key to her is needs to show a little maybe more positional speed early on, especially in a smaller field now. We don't want to run the risk of being last, trying to loop the field with a slow pace possibly ensuing.
Well, you went with the inside horse in here, and that's Ellie Reese Aston, who's Easton is debuting on this Peter, track the pace, finished 3rd against those condition claimers on the dirt.
Yeah, I mean, I might have picked her because I can finally pronounce her name, you know, after botching it about 5 times. But, yeah, she's in the mix here, and I think she's going to be close in here. And, boy, Antonio's been snake bitten at the meet, and the horses are going to start winning because they've been running well. It's just he's long overdue to really kind of get on a little bit of a tear. We know he does well on the Tapeta. He has since the kind of, you know, we debuted it here in last October. So we're down inside. She's in position here to be close early, and I think she'll run well.
And, you know, he's a little snake bit, but the rider certainly is. Miguel Vasquez going for victory, 1,000 this afternoon, see if he gets it. So that certainly adds to the appeal in there. I did go with the number 5, Plyer Occlusion, who faced better in her only previous race on the Tapeta. Goes back to that surface today after the pair of clunkers on the main track. Jose D'Angelo takes the blinkers off for the surface switch, sort of looking for something else I could throw under the logical choice I thought in here was the 4 Splicer.
Yeah, so here's the thing with her. I mean, she's definitely the controlling speed. You know, Jaramillo gets aboard. He was aboard last time. The problem is, boy, she has stopped on a dime in her last 2 starts. And Jose, I think for the first time, and, you know, since he's, you know, we've kind of gotten onto him, the barn's, you know, not having a great meet. So you probably have to take an underlaid price in here. The drop in class should help. But, boy, I don't know what we're going to get from her based on her last 2 races. So kind of tread lightly a little bit at an underlaid price.
And you got the 3 Hardly Social from Kathy Mungin's barn. You're going to get the Apprentice Elsa Morrison in the saddle.
Yeah, I mean, she's got solid enough form to be a player in here, but we're 1 for 18, and she has no speed either. So she's probably going to have to pass every one of them. And that's a little problematic in a short field. And at 1 for 18, again, you're kind of getting the MO. She might want to run underneath a little bit.
Well, let's go to race number 4. It's a mile claim of 3-year-olds, of 4-year-olds and up. Non-winners of 2 in life, $6,250. 6 in the field is going to kick off our late pick 5 on Thursday afternoon. And I know you put a ticket together in here.
I did, and we'll single right off the rip with my best bet of the day, Mamza, which we'll get to in a second. And then look at that. It's a 3x4 races coming up. And in race 5, which kicks off the late pick 4, I'll go to Officer Country as the top pick, 3 deep again. Down inside War of Ages, the 6 horse there, or the 1 horse, excuse me, in race 6 is my long shot play of the day.
Again.
Oh, boy. I like it. I like it. In race 7, I'll go down inside again. Town Classic is the pick. And then in race 8, number 8, Ellie Gray on top. You said you had your best bet in the finale. So who was that?
Ellie Gray.
Oh, good. All right. So we're on the same page
we're pretty
there as well.
Well, you're single in here. Moms is stretching out to 1 turn mile after responding to the drop down in competition action. We'll go show you that we'll pick up the top of the stretch home when he closes to finish second to 9 to 5 Royal Kitten that day. So let's pick it up, and you see that day was the number 2 horse in here, Momza. I thought it was a pretty nice performance, and Royal Kitten is a good horse, just sitting there up on the lead. And this is more window dressing and everything. I thought this horse ran well here to be second behind the big favorite. Momza was 3-1 that day, and just was game right till the wire. So I think this horse has a shot. You could see the favorite starting to drift out a little bit, but the 2 ran okay. Easier spot today.
Yeah, I agree, and I think this is the type of horse that I've got singled. It's a little dangerous to single in the opening leg, but I also think it adds to the value of a horse because sometimes the betting public is a little leery of being out for early on. I just think at the end of the day, Mamza is better than these. I like the fact that she dropped last time and ran her best race in quite a while. And we mentioned with Claudio, and here's the trainer stat. We'll take a look at it now. I think with Claudio starting to really, really go good. This is an extended sample too. This is last 5 years claiming dirt routes, and that's what we get today. Look at that, 25%. The ROI is $1.61. That's somewhat predictable because this is such a good barn, but I think if there's a single in here, this is the right one to do it with.
And once again, he'll have his go-to job, Hector Berrios in the saddle. I went with the 5 in second in here, and that's the Blue Dragon, who's dropping to this level after shipping up to Tampa. Finished third, was the actual favorite that day against those 16 lifetime claimers. That race now was moved from the turf to a mile in the 16th on the fast main track for Kent Sweezy. And as Miguel Vasquez going for 1,000, I thought this was a logical. Oh, you got it in second, too.
Yeah, without a doubt. And it's not going to take, Miguel long. I would think today's the day, but we'll see what happens. Kent's been very, very hot throughout the Royal Palm meet. If I had to nitpick a little bit, this race came off the turf last time at Tampa. So, he had a group that was kind of playing his game. And at, 8 to 5, he was a distant third. And now we're dropping again. So, I do think he's a major, major player, and he's the main danger in here. I'm a little leery of him, though, because last time seemed to be the time, and, boy, he was nowhere close.
Well, the old saying is some horses go up to Tampa and absolutely love the main track. A lot of them do not like it at all.
No doubt.
Maybe that's the case. I'm not making excuses, just throwing that out there. The number 3, Valhalla Air Base, is hoping to land in the winner's circle at a mile after responding to the drop down. 3rd place finish, going 6th for Bobby DeBona. He's good with horses stretching out in distance. But this one might be a little bit of a horse you will use somewhere on your Trier Super.
Yeah, I think on paper the stretch out is supposed to help this horse a little bit because, he was rolling late last time and was passing a few horses going 6. So now we get a couple additional furlongs to work with. And last time really woke up on the return to the main track as well. So not impossible in here.
Let's go to race 5. It's going to be 1 mile on the turf. Claim is 4 and up. $12,500. Did have a scratch in here of the North Remembers. So I think that Officer Country looks even better today, and this one is dropping to the 12.5 level.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And, the last 2 races on the turf were solid for Steve Glaceras. They were against better horses as well. Edwin knows this horse. We stick around here now. Not going to let anybody get too far away from him. Has a good post as well. So, yeah, to me, Officer Country is the one to beat. Not an overwhelming favorite, but is the one to beat.
The number 3, Till the End, who I did not use on my ticket. This one from the Jose D'Angelo barn. Paco Lopez going to jump aboard. What'd you see in this horse?
Well, it's got good back turf form, and now is going to run on the turf for the first time for Jose D'Angelo. Paco gets aboard. That's all positive. Paco should put a little more speed in this one. I think that goes well, too. This is remarkable, but somehow, Jose and Paco are actually 0 for 13 together, which is mind-boggling to me because two such strong trainer and jockeys. But I think Till the End's a player in here. Again, getting back to the turf. The other thing I want to mention, too, and it's been a while since this one was on the turf, draws much, much better than the last time he was on the turf for Safi back in August.
I was amazed by the stat you found until the end for Jose D'Angelo.
Yeah, let's take a look at it here as well. This is not ideal. There's no doubt about that. 0 for 11 synthetic to turf. So it's not a huge angle, but it definitely says, you know what, tread a little bit lightly here. But I'm kind of willing to give this one the benefit of the doubt a little bit, only because it's the first time he's going to try turf for Jose. 10-year-old son of Cantharos. That's pretty cool.
The number 6, He's a Kid, and a 4-time turf winner, is dropping, I think, into a competitive situation if they're facing tougher since that 20 claim by Jose Garofalo 3 races back. Clues that 5th place finish behind Officer Country 2 back. Lionel Reyes rides today. With the scratch of the one horse in here, I think this horse figures right in somewhere in the situation.
Yeah, I agree with you. It wasn't beaten. So if you like Officer Country, you kind of like to have this one a little bit because it wasn't that far behind him. Showed he can play at that kind of level. And again, a little bit of a drop in class, I think, is going to help He's a Kitten as well.
Let's go to race 6 this afternoon. About 5 furlongs on the Torpedo. Starter optional claim is Phillies 3-year-old. Start for 16 or less, or the optional tag of $16,000. And once again, I think the last couple of days we've had the long shot 2 or 3 times together. And that is the one War of Ages who's going to wear blinkers after rallying 6 wide to finish second. Let's go back and show you. We're going to show it. This is when this horse, we're going to pick it up from the 316 pole home when he closes. Now, if you look at the board up there, you'll see the first fraction was pretty solid in here. And this horse is the number 8 this day, War of Ages. 29-1 on the board. I just thought this horse closed very well in here and runs well, finishes second. Got the perfect setup, the point I'm trying to make. I was just a little leery that he might get this set up again today. And there you see the horse closing very stoutly there, and runs very well at a big price.
Yeah, there's a lot of speed in here, too, to set her up. Again, the blinkers even actually go on today for maybe a little bit more focus early on. And I think the fact that she was 29-1 last time, I hope that helps us get a price again today. Even though she comes out of a strong race that fits nicely with these, because sometimes the public sees that and they kind of view it as, a kind of bit of an outside-the-box kind of race, and they don't really believe it, and therefore you get a better price than you should next time out because, again, the public is a little leery of that effort. I'm with you wholeheartedly today. I hope we can get a decent number on her because that last race really fits with these. And you know what, too, Ron? After just 5 starts and only 3 of the 5 on Tapeta, she's got a world of upside, too.
Yeah, and Sammy Camacho is going to jump aboard. Not Sammy Camacho Jr., and he's a very strong finisher, and I think, as Brian said, going to sit the trip behind the speed. We both went with the number 4, What's Going On, and second, who's dropping to the 16 level, responded in that first race after the claim by Rohan Crichton with a set the pressured pace third. As the favorite against those optional claimers, 35 level, going 5 on the all-weather. MSCL Jaramillo handles the rematch today with Kingston Queen, who's the morning line favorite.
Yeah, boy, she ran hard last time, and you see, Kingston Queen's to her inside, and you saw him last time coming out of that race, and they hooked up early, and they hooked up often. I think it's probably another reason why both Ronnie and I went with War of Ages, but boy, they ran very, very well, and the benefit today for What's Going On is she's outside Kingston Queen, so I think that's better for her, certainly, than Kingston Queen, who's now down inside, and whereas last time she was outside, and that's a big switch because now instead of being laid onto the entire way, it's What's Going On who's outside, who can do the dictating, and I think that's a big advantageous post for her. With that being said, boy, can she do that the entire way and win the battle and still win the war? I mean, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, Kingston Queen beat her by 2 lengths last time out, but as you mentioned, going to start from different positionings. Not that big a field, so we'll see how that plays out. Race number 7, first half of the late daily double. 7 furlongs, claim is 4 and up, $8,000 scratch to 7. Awesome Beach. And you went with the number 1 horse, Town Classic, on top of your ticket, who's dropping today.
Yeah, dropping. I think that's a big deal. And another horse, we've talked a lot about races with speed and things like that, and I think Town Classic's going to get some speed to close into. I think this drop is a pretty big one from a 16 starter optional claimer. Last time, you know, we look at that group, gangly. We know how good Joe DiBaggio is and has been. Hero Tiger. Well, there's no one like that in here today, and I think that's really going to help. And honestly, I didn't think he ran that badly last time. We get a lot of weight from some of these, if that's your ango. So we'll see, but I think Town Classic is eligible to really move forward on the drop today.
I went with the number 4 horse in the Blessed Journey, moves to the Dan Peter barn after the claim cuts back to one of its best distances, 7 furlongs. The horse has had 7 starts with 3 wins, rallied to defeat those claimers at the 6,250 level in that 1-turn mile last time out. Lionel Reyes rides for the new connections today. I don't know what this one is on. The second choice on the morning line today behind your horse.
Yeah, big win last time. It was for Jose D'Angelo, so now we've got to maintain that form. Which is probably easier said than done. But here's another one with a stalking gear in a race where I think there's some speed. That's going to play well. And I know it's a rise in class, but boy, at least on paper, that race really fits nicely with this kind of group.
I'm going to go and show you the number 2 Royal Squeeze, the 6-time winner at this 7 furlong distance, stretches out after rallying to defeat those claimers. But the horse in front here is unpublished. They're both trained by Gary Jackson. It reminded me of the old thing when they used to send the rabbit out, sort of thing. He set it up perfectly at 19-1 for Royal Squeeze to come flying at, to win it at even money. The 10-year-old Marcos Meneses handling, this is just career start number 67.
What a cool horse, right? What a veteran, 10 years old, a son of Wildcat Air. And you said, so we got 21 for 66 in the exacta, 15 lifetime wins. And boy, he comes in off a really, really sharp win, a little bit of a rising class. But again, a lot like the 4 Blessed Journey, that last win, that last race fits with this kind of group. Can he double it up? It remains to be seen. But boy, he's a cool horse.
The 8th race this afternoon is going to be on the turf at about 7.5 furlongs. Maiden optional claimers, fillies and mares, 3 and up, $40,000. Nice clean slate, no scratches, jockey changes. And I, like you, thought the number 8, Ellie Gray, who's stepping up to competition. I thought it interesting, $25,000 career debut, going 7.5, in which he broke last in the field of 11, rallied between horses, steadied late, and was beaten over a little length when finishing 4th. Was 18-1 that day.
Yeah, well, you're not getting 18 today, but that was actually the shocking thing that this horse was 18 for, David Fox and Miguel Vasquez. Well, now Paco's here. I had my notes would have been possibly 3rd with the trouble, so don't think this horse was going to win, but she would have been closer. David, how about this? 29% second out maiden. So, boy, you really have to think she's going to move forward today. Paco gets aboard. She broke dead last time. I don't envision that today because Paco does such a good job putting horses into races early. And I think if she moves up, and quite honestly, I don't really know if she has to move forward that much to even beat these, and I think she will.
The number 4, Mia Camilla, is dropping to this level that we mentioned, got forced out last time at the start. Prompted the pace, weakened to finish 4th against 50 maidens, going a mile on the grass. I think this is the logical, in my estimation, second choice in here behind the horse that we have on top.
Yeah, I mean, Z-Frost wired last time, and this horse chased the entire way and ran pretty well, all things considered. Jose, it's the barn that's going a little cold right now, but certainly that last race, which was her first on the turf, she can build off of that.
Yeah, and you would think Kelsey Shot the 7 should be primed and ready to offer more. Return from an extended layoff to finish that work win like 7 behind that repeat winner Z First. Came back, I think, believe on 1 on Sunday, right? 50 maiden optional claimer on the turf. Kelsey Dana, 2nd time Lasix. We'll see how this horse runs today.
Yeah, absolutely. Another one in junior getting aboard is a positive sign, too.
Well, that wraps up the 8 races, but we're not done. We have a really nice lightning round because we got lots of information to tell you about, especially about what's going on here this weekend.
Yeah, so tomorrow on Kentucky Oaks Day, we'll move the post up to 1250. We've got a 9-race card tomorrow, and then take note, Saturday, we're 1220, 12 races, 2 stakes, which we'll talk about in a second, on a really, really good, strong card for the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah, we mentioned at the top, boy, we have such great rooting interest with the Kentucky Derby this year.
Yeah, I mean, not to be a homer, but I just really think our horses are going to really, really make a good impression. Here's the total draw here. Boy, White Abario draws perfect in 15, and he's 10-1, and Charge It's 20-1, second in the Florida Derby, and then of course Simplification third. I thought a really, really good third in the Florida Derby as well. So there are 3 horses. I heard, I mentioned Mo Donegal too, who was, a really, really good third in the Holy Bull to kick off his campaign as well.
Yeah, it's just going to be a great race in there, and then we'll just go back and I think visit there. You see, that White Barrier winning, but you look at Charger, just as green as grass, coming to be, second behind him. I thought ran an incredible race. You could just see this horse just didn't know where to go, and I happened to talk to the jockey after the race. He said just going to move way forward. I think that horse has the most upside of all the horses in the Derby field.
No, I agree with you. And the beauty of the Florida Derby is, you can envision all 3 of these horses that come out of that race. They have the right to improve because we know, let's just be honest, White Barrio just did not have a good schedule leading up to that race or leading up to the Holy Bull, and he still wins both comfortably. Charge It, you see him there. He's so green. He's only run 3 times. He's supposed to move forward. And, Simplification did not get a great trip that day, and he hangs around to being third. I didn't think the inside was great that day. He's going to get run off his feet a little in the Derby, and I think that's a good thing for him too. All 3 horses are eligible to move forward on Saturday.
And Simplification, what I like about him, he's sort of, you can go to the lead with him, sit off the pace, so we'll see how he runs. Boy, we got the great rendition of the Kentucky Oaks this year.
Yeah, and again, here's Kathleen O, undefeated. There she is, the number 10. She draws well, 7-2 on the morning line. We'll take a look at her, absolutely dominant, beating Goddess of Fire in our Gulfstream Park Oaks. She's undefeated. She passed the 2-turn test in that race, and boy, there's a lot to like her. Undefeated and untested in 4 starts.
Yeah, I remember when we saw this race, we just said, you think this horse will be favored in the Oaks, the Kentucky Oaks, and she got right up there second choice, so we'll see how she runs today.
Yeah, without a doubt. So again, here she is here, and she just, once she levels off, she looked awesome.
Yeah, so she's just a great performance, of course, trained by the one and only Shug McGahee.
Yeah, and the Hall of Famer and another Hall of Famer with her, Javier Castellano. So they're going to look for Oaks Glory and, another one of our horses that wintered here all winter and is poised to fire a big, big shot.
You can come out here tomorrow. If you can't make it here on Saturday, we got advanced wagering on all those races that are offered in Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we hope to see you here Saturday, but we hope to see you here tomorrow as well. And you can bet early. You can bet often right here at Gulfstream Park.
I think you bet both days.
Well, just send it in.
Yeah, you just send it in, absolutely. And as you mentioned, we got a couple of stakes on Saturday, too.
We do, and they are good, good races on Saturday. The English Channel in the Honey Rider. Again, they anchor the 12-race card, so it's pretty exciting there as well. And, again, that early post, and we are loaded for bear on Saturday as well.
Yeah, so we'll see how this horse runs. Do we have big Temptations, I think, winning the Sanibel Island?
Yeah, I mean, running second, I believe, in that race. Had a huge, huge, huge number, and she's back. And both of those races shape up really, really strong. They're the type of races where you look at the fields. We can even talk about them later. But, the favorites like 7-2, 4-1 kind of races, and what more can you ask for as a bettor?
Well, good luck with all your selections, both today, tomorrow. We're going to turn it over to Pete Aiello, get you all straightened out here. We'll be back for race number 1 in just a while.
The Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance is really the vehicle for the transition for our racehorses coming off the track into a second career and safe environment for these horses when they're done racing. I've been passionate about racehorses my whole life, animals in general, and without the TAA to provide that oversight, there would be a big void in terms of making sure that we have this ongoing safe environment for our off-the-track racehorses. I'm excited about the undertaking and excited about working with our board and our team at the TAA to continue the wonderful progress that has been made. So I'm very excited about what the future holds.